Hi guys, editing Karina here. So I was just about to export my file and tell me why I realized again I don't have an intro. Y'all, I don't know what is wrong with me. Sometimes I start my videos off different and then by the time that I'm done filming, like I just want to get out of there and I totally forget to film an intro. So today we're doing a full face of underrated drugstore affordable makeup and I hope you enjoy it. You guys have your cafecito ready because we're gonna jump right in. I actually have mine over there, but it already got cold, and there's something about like hot coffee turning cold that literally gives me the ick. So we're gonna jump right in without a coffee today. Pray for me. Just kidding. Okay, so let's start off with primer. So for my primer today, I have here the Wet n Wild Impossible Primer. So I saw a comment on one of my last videos. Somebody mentioned that this is a pretty close dupe to the new Huda Beauty Primer. And I was like, I think you might be right. And I don't see a lot of people talking about this specific product. I feel like Wet n Wild tends to fly under the radar. I am going to just try it for today and then compare it to the Huda Beauty. Let's see if it compares at all. If you read the packaging, this one is the one silicone-free primer that does it all. And this is a silicone-free smoothing primer packaging. I mean, they're both like little squeeze tubes. So this is not specifically a dupe video, but I just really wanted to test it out with you guys in person and see if it's actually like a pretty close to it, because hello, like the price range is insane. So Huda goes on this side and then the silicone free primer. I know that I've tried this in the past, pero no me acuerdo if I liked it or not. Okay, so this one is, as you can see, like this one kind of like dragged a little bit more and this one went on a little bit smoother. The color is different. This one has more of a pink hue versus this just is a traditional white, almost translucent color, which that doesn't really matter. Like you're not going to see the color on your skin, so that I don't really care about that, but there's a difference right here. This one goes on super smooth. It glides. I mean, honestly, this has been like my go-to primer ever since I bought it like a few weeks ago. It does make me oily, even though it is silicone free. It's just not a mattifying enough a primer for me, but it gets the job done. It does smooth out the pores, which is exactly what I'm looking for. Oh my gosh, this one literally blends exactly the same. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Oh my goodness. Y'all, I think we definitely have a dupe here, okay? This is not a dupe video, but wow, this is a dupe for the Huda Beauty. It feels the same on the skin. If anything, the Huda feels a tad bit more mattifying, but my pores look exactly the same on both sides. Wow, thank you so much for letting me know about the Impossible Primer, because not only is it underrated, but it is a dupe. We got a dupe, honey. Let's move on to foundation. For foundation, I had a hard time finding a drugstore or affordable one that was underrated. For me personally, I feel like this is a great foundation. I feel like the brand is just what makes this foundation kind of like slack. It is the Morphe Lightform Extended Hydration Foundation. Y'all, I'm about to be oily today, but I'm doing it for you. This foundation is so lightweight, as you can see. It is a little on the runny side, so it's going to be a little more liquidy. And it just it's so good. It is such a great foundation in my opinion. I personally don't reach for it as much either. That's because again, it is a little bit on the like dewier side, but for the fall, I think this foundation is great. It's a lightweight, it blends really easily, it's affordable. I think it's either like 20 bucks or under $20. I know that this did get a little bit of hype, at least on YouTube when they first launched it, but I just feel like Morphe has not really been able to make a full comeback. It was the biggest brand a few years ago, and I think with like all the drama and just everything that has happened in the beauty world, if you know, you know, I think this brand really fell, and it fell hard. And I used to be a huge Morphe lover, and now I do own some of their products, but for the most part, like I stay away from their brand just because they haven't wowed me in years, literally. But as you can see, it blends really easily. It has a nice dewy finish. So if you have combination to dry skin, this is a great foundation. I know there's tons of drugstore foundations out there, but this one is very similar to like the Armani Luminous Silk, where it has that lightweight feel to it, but it still covers enough. For my bronzer, I didn't realize how close or how similar the Wet n Wild contour stick in the shade Where's Walnut is to Sunnyside from Rare Beauty. Oh my gosh, the consistency is almost identical. It is creamy, it is rich, it is like nice and warm, but this is $5, okay? Don't get me wrong, I love my Rare Beauty bronzer. I'm gonna call it a bronzer. This is a contour stick, but they're so similar. The only real difference that I see is that this has a slightly cooler undertone, but they have a darker shade in this specific color stick that resembles that a lot more. And again, this is one of those products that just effortlessly blends into the skin, and it just leaves a really pretty touch of bronziness to the skin. I just can't get over these products and the fact that they've been around for years. Like, this is nothing new, but for some reason they just still fly under the radar because of how much we have nowadays. Like, now we have a lot of makeup to choose from versus a few years ago. Even, you know, you didn't have a lot of options, and now there's like too many options. For my blush, y'all, I have such a great product that, again, I personally feel like this doesn't get enough hype. It doesn't get enough attention. It's underrated. The L'Oreal Lumi blushes. These are pretty new, but I don't really hear people talking about them. And tell me why this reminds me so much of the Armani Luminous Silk cheek tints. Like, hello, the color, the pigmentation, they're so similar. So I'm gonna grab my Lumi blush. This is in the shade Dewy Rich Coral. This is such a pretty color. The way that these blend out, ugh. I'm gonna give you a side-by-side comparison in case you guys are wanting the Armani blushes. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice brand, but I mean, if you can save yourself some money, then go for it. As you can see, those are the swatches. So this one is L'Oreal, and the one next to it, duh, it's Armani. So the Armani one is a slightly more like pinky coral versus the L'Oreal is more of a true coral peach. I personally love me a true coral peach. Those are just the vibes that I like to go with, and they're both really good, but obviously the price difference is quite astonishing. I got the Armani blushes in PR, so I cannot complain. They are really good quality, but look at that. Look at how easy that blends into the skin, and the pigment is unreal. Like, they're not overly pigmented. It's just the right amount, and they blend really easily and effortlessly into the skin. I like to bring mine up just a little bit and then almost under my eyes, since I'm not wearing concealer yet. Orange will color correct at the same time, so it is a win-win. For my concealer, this one was definitely hard, so I chose one that I feel like doesn't ever get talked about, and this is probably like my favorite drugstore slash affordable, because technically you can't find these at the drugstore. The She Glam concealers, the complexion boost concealers, are amazing. I have two shades, Sand and Honey. Sand is like my perfect shade. It has the most beautiful undertone. It is crazy pigmented, okay? So if you want full coverage, creamy, this is the girl for you, okay? If you like the It Cosmetics Bye Bye Under Eyes, or whatever that concealer is called, you will like this because it's very similar in consistency, where it's like thick and it's creamy, but it's not heavy. And I always apply too much. I'm so extra, but I can always tap it out with a little bit of a beauty. Look at that. That is so much. Oh my goodness. Love it. For my setting powder, I definitely need to set because mama is getting a little bit oily. I wasn't too sure about this one. Y'all have to let me know if you feel like this product is underrated. But again, these are just products that I was going through my makeup collection. I'm like, I don't really hear a lot of people talking about those, and they're actually great. The CoverGirl True Blend Minerals Loose setting powder in the shade Banana. If y'all remember, this used to be my goat. Okay, I abuse this so much. Like, look at how little I have because I used it so much. It is such a good powder, and I know my favorite powder is like the One Size Beauty, like that is like nobody defeats that. But this powder is so good at brightening the under eye. If you really enjoy that like bright eye, this powder is for you. And of course, it's affordable, so it's just a win-win. For my blush, I am going to set it with an oldie but a goodie, the Rimmel Maxi Blushes. Rimmel, again, is one of those brands that is just so like, it's not very popular. I mean, mind you, they don't have the greatest products, but their blushes, their maxi blushes, have been one of my absolute favorites since I can remember, like literally years. These have just been top tier. If you want affordable blushes, these are it. They're pigmented. They are a little like chalky, but they're matte, which is what I personally care for. I don't want a luminous blush. They just don't look good on me. My skin texture does not allow that, okay? And then for bronzer, I wanted to talk about the Cookie Matte Bronzer. This one, again, another brand that is so underrated. I honestly don't see this brand as much as I used to at my local like Walmart. So I don't know exactly what happened, but I get PR from them. So, you know, obviously they're still up and going. This is in the shade Heat Wave, and these are so good. Like the pigment on these is really nice. They're nice and rich and creamy. They blend easy, and they have really cute packaging. Like, I mean, that's a bonus, right? For my eyes, I had a hard time again of finding what brand I felt like was underrated for their eyeshadows. And this one I have to give it to LA Girl. They genuinely have, oh my gosh, that whew, scared me. It was my water bottle tipped over. Lord. LA Girl has some of the most beautiful eyeshadow palettes. I feel like nowadays people don't reach for bigger palettes like this, and by people I mean me. I don't reach for eyeshadow palettes this big. I will sometimes, but for me, like if it's a little bit more smaller, the better. So we're gonna create just a soft glam using this palette so you guys can see it in action. Only the OGs will remember this eye look. I literally dug through my old files and I found this look using this specific palette like 4 or 5 years ago. Oh my gosh. This is the epitome of a fall look, okay? Anyways, Flower Beauty. Girl, what happened? Drew Barrymore, not to be rude or anything, but she should stick to the appliances at Walmart, okay? I feel like her makeup was never really much of a hit, but she has good products. I just don't understand why they weren't that girl. Look at this highlighter. Literally, Georgina, like gorgeous. I am using the Shimmer and Strobe highlighting palette. I don't know what happened here. I think it came with a little brush. Yeah. But this is such a stunning, bright, in your face, blinding highlight. If you're into those highlighters still, then this is for you. Okay, let's wrap this up. For lips, I don't necessarily have like a specific lip combo, but I do want to say that if you are a gloss girly, the Moira glosses are again super underrated. I get mine at my local HEB. Not sure where else it is sold besides on their website, but Moira has some great products. Their lashes are really good. Their cream bronzers and their cream blushes are amazing. Their eyeshadow palettes are actually really good. Let me know in the comment section. I don't know if I can do like a little poll, but let me know in the comment section down below if you guys would be interested in me doing a full face of Moira Cosmetics, because it's drugstore. Consider drugstore, yeah. I'm gonna go in with Fancy just because, what do you guys think? Actually, I think I'm gonna lean with this one. It is called Main Squeeze. Love me a matte lip, but these glosses, I just had to mention them because they definitely they definitely deserve a little TLC. Okay, friends, this is the end of today's look. This is a full face using underrated, affordable drugstore makeup. What do you guys think? Like, all these products performed so well. Some performed even better or just as good as high-end makeup. My absolute favorite thing has to be the eyes. Like, I'm surprised I still got some skills in me. I haven't done a cut crease in, I don't know, it's been at least a year. At least a year. That's insane. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed today's look. Thank you so much for watching. I love you. Stay safe, and I will see you guys in my next video.